Tonight from Detroit, the Red Sox face the Tigers in Game 2 and send former Tiger Rick Porcello to the hill against his old ball club, the right-hander, in search of his 17th win. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Comerica Park. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner, Jerry Remy. Garen Austin with us in just a couple of moments. And, Jerry, the Red Sox have Porcello on the mound tonight trying to put a brutal loss behind him. They don't have more faith in any starter more than they do Porcello.
Oh, I would definitely agree with that. You know, he's the ace of this ball club right now. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And the Red Sox have confidence every time he takes the mound. He's going to win a ball game. Look at his last 9. 8-1, and one number to look like that's very impressive, the walks. Only 8 walks and 48 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .218. The only guy in the major leagues that has more wins than Porcello is Jay Happ of Toronto. So, you know, he's right up there with the league leaders in wins. And the Red Sox need a big performance again from him tonight. It was a devastating loss here yesterday, not because of the starting pitching, but they need a good start tonight from Porcello.
Trying to erase the bad taste in their mouths because of the bullpen collapse that's been happening far too frequently, and Rick Porcello can do that tonight, going for his 17th win and tying to tie for the American League lead in victories. Red Sox and the Tigers are coming up from Comerica in just a moment. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. The 2017 Kia Sportage. Visit anykiadealers.com to learn more. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Subaru Retailers of New England. By Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Back at Comerica Park here in downtown Detroit, Michigan. Time to toss it to Garen Austin. Garen, it seems nothing can sway the focus these days of tonight's starter, Rick Porcello.
Obi, Rick Porcello has been on such a roll. In his last 9 starts, he's 8-1 with a 2.39 ERA, and nothing can affect him. He's been so focused, not even pitching against his former teammates in his old ballpark. Here's what Porcello had to say about making that first start back at Comerica Park.
Seeing them in Boston earlier this year helped, and obviously last year pitching against them in Boston and then coming here kind of, I feel like, took care of, you know, I guess the feelings or whatever you know you want to call it. And you know, with the race that we're in, I'm really trying my hardest not to let any of that creep into my head. I think you know, I want to maintain the focus that I've had in my past 3 or 4 starts and not let anything alter that. So I'm trying to kind of block it out, really. After Friday, then, you know, obviously I go over and say hi to those guys, but I'm not talking to them before Friday.
The 27-year-old has become a Cy Young candidate. He pitched for the Tigers between 2009 and 2014, trying to beat them tonight, pitching here against them for the first time, taking on the Tigers. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Well, the weather is fine right now here in downtown Detroit. We're getting ready for game 2. Red Sox trying to shake off yesterday and a bitter pill to swallow with a 3-1 lead in the 8th inning, and the bullpen could not hold it. Give you a look at the AL East standings coming to play. Red Sox had an opportunity to get within a half game of the lead, but now a game and a half back, along with the Baltimore Orioles, trailing the Toronto Blue Jays inside the division of the Yankees, 7.5 out. Michael Fulmer, the talented right-hander, with a 2.25 ERA. He's going to be tough tonight, leading the Tigers onto the diamond. Here's the Red Sox lineup he will face. Brought to you by BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Dustin Pedroia starts it off, then Xander Bogaerts and David Ortiz. Mookie Betts with 28 home runs. Then Hanley Ramirez and Jackie Bradley. Sandy Leon, who homered again yesterday, does the catching. Brock Holt is at third base, and Andrew Benintendi is in left field and batting ninth. Up against Fulmer, he's 10-3, and both of tonight's starters, Fulmer and Rick Porcello, were involved in separate trades involving Yoenis Cespedes.
The Tigers defense is brought to you by DraftKings, and they are 4th in the American League with 60 errors in 21 games. Casey McGee will be at third base. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Ian Kinsler at second. Miguel Cabrera, the first baseman. Left to right, Tyler Collins, Andrew Romine, J.D. Martinez, and Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching for Fulmer.
Here are the umpires. They're brought to you by ToyotaCertified.com. Behind the plate, it's Jerry in the slow lane. He will take his time making the call. Brian O'Nora, Trip Gibson, and Scott Barry around the bases. And we're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by ToyotaCertified.com. Search for your factory back Toyota certified used vehicle right now.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Here's the weather. Very nice here right now. Some cloud cover. 86 degrees. Feels a little cooler than that. And mostly cloudy but dry in Detroit. And the Red Sox losing a game last night, yesterday afternoon. It felt like a punch to the gut. They've had a couple of those against this Detroit team.
They certainly have, and yesterday was no exception. I mean, it was a game, a very winnable game for the Red Sox. The bullpen could not get it done, and a very, very frustrating loss.
Pedroia in at 3:06, and the first one in there for a strike, and we are underway. Sox have not beaten the Tigers this year. They're 0-4 against them. Also had a very brutal loss at Fenway. Up the middle, headed for the bag. Scooped up by Kinsler and in time to get him. Kinsler, the man who made the catch on a hot shot line drive by Mookie Betts that ended yesterday's game.
Yeah, very nice play to start this game off by Kinsler. I mentioned yesterday, very solid player offensively and defensively. Only 6 errors at second base so far this season, and ranges way up the middle to make that play on Pedroia.
Bogart's hitting .310, but that batting average has been tumbling for Xander. 14 homers, 69 runs batted in. Goes after the first one and pops it foul for a strike.
Second time this year that the Red Sox have seen Fulmer. That was back at Fenway Park. A no decision, but he pitched very well. 7 2/3, 7 hits and 3 earned runs against the Red Sox. 98 pitches in that ball game.
Likes to work quickly. Fouled away, and Xander will take a seat right there as he fouled that one off himself.
And you can see that pitch at 96, and it also moves in against those right-handers, and Bogart's hitting right on top of it. There's that two-seam fastball that runs back inside on Bogart's. He's right on top of it and right off the shin, ankle, foot, somewhere in that area.
Wherever it got him, it hurt. Looks like the calf.
Okay, it was one
somewhere down there.
It was somewhere down there.
Right down on the seat of his pants. The 0-2. David Ortiz on deck.
It's pretty much what you'll see tonight too. That fastball around 96. You'll see the slider that he just threw, and also a changeup.
Bogart's ripped a home run against him off of Fulmer in Boston last month. At that time, Xander was hitting .332. He's down to .310 now. You brought this up a couple of times, Jaron. I think it's dead on. What he has to do is start going to right field again.
Yeah, that's when he's at his absolute best.
Or that. Pull it to left. Got himself a base hit.
You know, I was watching him today in batting practice, and he was pulling the ball an awful lot. And he starts off by getting a fastball inside here that's elevated a little bit. It does pull it. Now, that's a mistake. They wanted that ball away from Bogarts. It stays inside, and he's able to get the barrel of the bat out with the topspin line drive hard to left field. But I go back to the point about using the opposite field. That is his strength. Pull when you have to, but try to use up the middle of the opposite field. That time he almost had to pull that baseball.
This is a great big ballpark too, although it plays pretty small for David Ortiz. 314, 27 homers, driven in 93. First at bat tonight, hits a high fly down the left field line. Collins was way off the line. Long run, won't get there, but a foul ball. He had to run all night.
It's interesting watching the defense. They were not in the shift against David Ortiz, but they will go into the shift now. They got to move McGee, the third baseman, between Kinsler and Cabrera. Keep that double play combination in order of Kinsler and Eric Ibar.
Yeah, McGee now the third baseman with Castellanos out on the DL. They're playing shorthanded. They have a lot of injuries. A ball, a strike on David Ortiz with Mookie Betts on deck. Brad Ausmus, the manager, the Dartmouth product, elected to pitch to with runners at second and third in the 9th inning in a 1-run game yesterday. Much to our surprise. We weren't the only ones. Flared foul.
That's the changeup right there. The changeup at 87 miles an hour. And you know, you're right, Dave. I totally expected them to walk Mookie Betts, and Mookie Betts almost beat him with that line drive. It took Kinsler a couple of feet to his right. He was able to make the catch, but that was an absolute bullet by Betts.
It ended the game, but another 3 or 4 feet higher, and the Red Sox would have had the lead as that one is fouled away. And a lot of people were talking about it in Detroit today. Ausmus at various times this year has been on the hot seat. Not the only manager you can say that about, certainly. But about 6 weeks ago, he was openly answering questions about that. About the security of his job. Well, if that one had backfired on him yesterday. Mookie really crunched it against K-Rod. The 1-2. Evens the count.
Tries to go down and in and get David to chase that slider, swing on top of it, but no bite by Ortiz.
David's always liked the ballpark. He's hit 21 home runs here in just over 200 at bats. And some of his longest tape measure home runs have been right here at Comerica. Bogart's aboard at first base and one man away. Just getting started here in the first inning. Right-hander, 6'3", 210 pounds. He's only 23 years old. Very talented. High fly ball. Deep right field. Watch this baby go. Goodness gracious, he does it again. And that puts the Red Sox in the lead 2-0 in the first inning. Number 28. He really likes this ballpark.
Well, and the other thing here too, Dave, is they keep trying, because of his age, to pitch him inside with hard stuff, and you can't do it. He still catches up with the fastball inside. Now, see where the location is, and you see where the ball is. It leaks a little bit toward the middle of the plate, but Ortiz ready for it. And I think David was guessing in there, because when Fulmer was shaking off signs, Ortiz immediately called for timeout. He stepped out of the batter's box because he has something on his mind. He was focused on a pitch middle in, and he got it.
Number 531 for Big Papi. Mookie Betts with a high pop into right center. No carry on this one. And Martinez, the right fielder, to make the catch. Speedway is proud to be New England's first choice for value and convenience. For every Red Sox home run this season, Speedway donates to Boston Children's Hospital. And now in August, get 10 cents off per gallon of gas at Speedway when you make a qualifying $3 merchandise purchase.
Got to look at the pitch right there. You see them set up inside. He gets it inside, but it leaks a little bit toward the middle of the plate. And notice the front leg of David Ortiz. If we could show that one more time, how he was leaking a little bit because he was looking for the ball in.
You say he guessed right.
I honestly believe he was guessing inside. Watch his front leg and watch where he steps. Almost down that first base line a little bit. So he was looking for something hard inside, and he cleans it out.
You got 95 RBIs, Jerry. That one is tap foul by Hanley Ramirez. 95 here on the 19th of August.
95. He's going to go over the 100 mark again this year. He's going to hit over 30 home runs this year. And then take it to the house.
And what a void that's going to leave. So everybody enjoys it while they can. Red Sox in front very quickly, 2-0. Hanley Ramirez back to the ball club yesterday after missing 3 games because he was on bereavement leave, and he did go 2 for 3 with an RBI. He's been swinging a hot bat. Here's the 1-2. Sharply hit for a base hit past the diving McGee. That makes him 10 for his last 19.
Well, you know, you got to wonder too, Dave, when you think about it, Hanley had that wrist problem, and I believe that wrist problem bothered him for a long time. And how much help did he get maybe with those 3 days off with gaining strength back in the wrist? Because he had a great day yesterday. Starts off with a base hit here today.
And Jackie Bradley in next. Jackie at 282, 20 homers. He's homered in 3 of his last 5 games. 2-0 Sox. Against an outstanding young pitcher in Michael Fulmer. Red Sox off to a nice start as he takes a ball. Fulmer's last start was against Texas, and that's an outstanding lineup. He's tossed a complete game, his first career complete game. 4-hitter with 9 Ks. Well, the Red Sox with 3 first-inning hits. and in there for a strike.
There's the changeup again, and the changeup consistently in the first inning. A couple of them, but 86 miles an hour.
Well, the Ortiz home run was more impressive for its height than it was necessarily how deep it was. That was up there all night. Moving up toward Jimmy Fox now, and then Mickey Mantle. And he pops that one foul back out of play. Talking about home runs, Sandy León is on deck. Should the inning get to him, he's been in a home run groove. We're still looking for the best nickname for Sandy. Garrett will have more on that. One and two on Jackie Bradley. There goes the runner. It's high. The throw is not going to get him. And a stolen base for Hanley Ramirez. Saltalamacchia skipping the toss down to second.
One thing that helped there, Hanley Ramirez, where Saltalamacchia had to go to make this play. I mean, he has to go across his body to his backhand and then kind of throw around Bradley a little bit. They want the ball inside. Watch the location, though. It's up and in. And then by the time Saltalamacchia gets it, he just throws it almost directly down on the ground.
Number 8 for Hanley.
Hanley taking a peek back to see if he's got time. Not a good idea to get into that habit of peeking back, but some base runners slow up when they do that.
So base hit could make it 3-0. And he takes it inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sandy León on deck. Fulmer acquired from the Mets when Detroit sent Yoenis Cespedes to New York last year. Three-2. High fly ball into right field. He jumped on that one. Backing up Martinez, turning around. Out of here. Another Red Sox home run, and Boston is in front 4-0 in the first inning. I can't think of anything that would make the Red Sox feel better after yesterday's collapse than a bunch of runs early tonight.
Yeah, and watch where the location of this pitch is for Jackie Bradley. And it's going to be high, almost out of the strike zone. I mean, look where he gets that ball, 89 miles an hour. That's like a cut fastball or a slider. It's not a good one. It hangs up high, about letter high, and it's able to hook it out of the ballpark.
21 for Jackie Bradley, 72 RBIs.
That was supposed to be a slider that did nothing.
Here's Sandy León. He cranks a line drive toward the alley, but here comes Martinez, and he'll make the play and retire the side. But the Red Sox jump all over Fulmer for a pair of home runs. David Ortiz and Jackie Bradley, just like that, 4-0 Boston. 2-run homers to grab a quick 4-0 lead. Here's a look at the Tiger lineup now, brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Ian Kinsler will lead things off, and then it's Eric Ibar, Miguel Cabrera, and Victor Martinez. J.D. Martinez, Tyler Collins, Casey McGee, Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching, and Andrew Romine, the center fielder. Against the Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your New England Audi dealers, Rick Porcello, having a terrific year at 16-3 with a .330 earned run average, certainly a Cy Young candidate. And he starts off Kinsler with strike one. His only career start against Detroit came last year in July, and that was in Boston. Line drive, but it hangs up, and Benintendi puts that one away.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 6th in the American League, 64 errors on the season. Brock Holt at third base, Xander Bogaerts to shortstop, Dustin Pedroia at second, Hanley Ramirez at first, left to right, Benintendi, Bradley Jr. and Betts, and Sandy Leon doing the catching for Rick Porcello.
One man away for Eric Ibar, 243 with a couple of home runs. He hit a double off Tazawa in the 8th inning yesterday and would score the tying run. Brock Holt moving in at third base because Ibar is a talented bunter. And the 0-1 in there for a strike.
That's a good sign right there. Rick Porcello can get that pitch all night long. That's going to be good news for him. Pitch down and away on the outside part of the plate.
There's 0-2 to the former Angel, will miss inside. This Porcello's first start here in Detroit since the Tigers dealt him to Boston in 2014 for Yoenis Cespedes. Dave Dombrowski making that trade. On the infield, a chopper. Pedroia up and over, 2 down. Cabrera will be next. These cold hard facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Red Sox starters have allowed 3 earned runs or less each of the last 15 games. The starting pitching has been very good. It's the 4th such team streak since the start of the 2000 season. And really good yesterday as well behind Clay Buchholz, who deserved a better fate.
Yeah, that kind of went under the radar because of what happened to the Red Sox late in that ball game yesterday, but Buchholz was very, very good.
No decision for Clay, but 6 outstanding innings. Really a clutch effort. Cabrera at .310, 27 home runs, another outstanding year.
That's another good fastball by Porcello. That's sinker down at the bottom of the strike zone. First time Cabrera has faced Porcello. He didn't face him in the game that Rick pitched against Detroit last year.
And Porcello went 7 innings in that one, allowing just 5 hits. He had no decision. That was at Fenway. Cabrera needing some additional time to get set. He's been playing with a bicep injury. Pedroia backing up a bit to backhand it. Has plenty of time to throw. And Porcello needs only 9 pitches to get 3 quick outs. Brock Holt, the leadoff man here in the second inning. Red Sox already in front 4-0 thanks to home runs by David Ortiz and Jackie Bradley. Number 28 for Big Papi, number 21 for Jackie off of Michael Fulmer. So Brock Holt leading things off. 255 with 6 home runs. He collected a season high 3 hits on Wednesday night in Baltimore. So looks like he's starting to warm up again. In there for a strike.
Shading him slightly to the opposite field, especially in this big outfield.
2-2.
Big gap for Brock Holt between center field and right field, as you can see. And you put one in that area, you're going to run for a long, long time.
Benintendi on deck. And then Dustin Pedroia. Here's the 2-2. That fastball 95. That's where Fulmer likes to live. Also a slider, changeup. Good command. They think he'll be a number 1 one day. Flared into left field, and Collins right there. 1 man out. Benintendi to climb in next. This Greater Coverage of Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Rookie wins leaders in the majors entering tonight, and Fulmer is number 2 with 10. And also a minuscule ERA of 2.25, although that took a first inning hit because of the 4 Red Sox runs. Benintendi at 319 now without a home run. A little bit cool on the trip. He's 2 for 14. And he foul tips that one. I was chatting with Andrew before the game, along with Brock Holt, about yesterday's game, and he came up there in the 9th inning with a runner on at first base, and there was no bunt play on, no thought of bunting him as he rolls that one toward the hole, down to get it. Kinsler, nice play, got him at first. And I asked Andrew, how much bunting did you do in the minor leagues? He really couldn't remember bunting. When you're hitting like 330, you don't bunt much.
No, you're not. That's one of the issues, you know, when you're in the minor leagues and you have the kind of success that he had. He's not asked to bunt very much. Now you get to the big league level, and those situations may come up at times, and quite frankly, you're not prepared to do it because you've never done it throughout your career.
Not that there was going to be a play on there anyway with David Ortiz coming up after him.
And then he just walked Ortiz, right?
That's right. Pedroia 0 for 1. He is grounded out to second.
By the way, that's 2 very good plays that Kinsler has made in this game. He went on Dustin in the first inning, and that was a very good play on Benintendi.
Red Sox up 4-0 here in the second. And he drills in a strike. Pedroia hit a home run off of Fulmer in the first inning at Fenway. So got a good look at him right away in Boston. Here's the 1-1. Since he moved to that leadoff spot, Jerry looks very comfortable. He's hitting .417.
Yeah, for a guy that doesn't like hitting leadoff, it sure has agreed with him. And with the Red Sox.
Here's the third baseman down for it. McGee off balance, but he gets him. The Red Sox go 1-2-3 here in the second inning. 4-0 Boston. Bottom of the second, Red Sox up 4-0 here over the Tigers. And Victor Martinez will be followed by J.D. Martinez and Tyler Collins. Porcello retired the side in order with a couple of ground balls. Always a very good sign for Rick with that great sinker of his. Here's another one. That got right by Hanley. Here's the throw back to the pitcher. Dropped by Porcello. As Pedroia made the play, Red Sox should have had an out there at first base.
Yeah, they should have. You know, the ball gets by Ramirez, but because they're in the shift, that means Pedroia has a chance to get to it now. The decision becomes, who do I throw the ball to? Because Hanley's trying to get back to the bag, as you can see, and Porcello's getting over to cover. So who am I throwing it to? He throws it to Porcello as Ramirez peels off, but it's a little bit wide of Rick. You can see Hanley, when he sees Porcello going in that direction, he peels off. I'm not sure in that play exactly what Pedroia knew to do with the baseball, because he saw two guys heading for the bag.
Got to be an error on somebody. And it is going to be on Pedroia on the throw. Would have beat him by 35 feet. It had been on target. Pedroia the other night in Baltimore had 2 errors charged to him. For the first time in his career, they took one of them back. So he's made 2 errors on the trip now. And a hitter is J.D. Martinez at .311 with 16 home runs. Missed a lot of games this season because of a right elbow fracture. But he has outstanding power. He drills that deep to right field, and that one is out of here. Boy, it is carrying to right field tonight. They get 2 of them back on that shot by Martinez, his 17th home run.
That's a pretty inside-out swing right there by J.D. Martinez. Inside-out swinging, and that's the place in this ballpark to hit home runs. They fly out there to right field. But that ball hit very, very well.
That makes it a 4-2 game. Tyler Collins here, a .227 hitter. He's hit 4 home runs. They really missed J.D. Martinez now with that elbow problem. He hit 38 last year. He was quite a find.
You know, just small things, but we talked about the footwork of David Ortiz when we hit his home run. You can say the same thing about J.D. Martinez, his footwork going to the opposite field. He's not bailing out. He's not pulling that foot down the third baseline and then taking the ball deep the other way. He's stepping into the baseball, where Ortiz was just the opposite. He was stepping away trying to pull.
Trying to think, what was it the Houston Astros didn't like about J.D. Martinez? That is going to be in there for strike 3. Caught him looking.
Here's Martinez. Now watch his front foot, how it goes right toward the pitcher, and then the hands do the rest of the work. The inside out swing to the opposite field. We saw the complete opposite from David Ortiz. David Ortiz was leaking down the first base line trying to pull the ball, and he did successfully. So 2 different styles.
Here's Casey McGee, third baseman, .255 without a home run. Red Sox 4 and Detroit 2. Already 3 home runs hit in this game.
Now watch David Ortiz, how he steps toward the first base side. He's guessing fastball in, and you've got to do that when you get a little bit older because you can't catch up to the fastball. So, you know, he's clearly looking for the ball inside, something hard inside that he can pull, and he cheats a little bit with that right foot. He pulls it down the first base line. Complete opposite for J.D. Martinez.
Two strikes on McGee, 1 man out, bases empty. Got jammed there. McGee, a veteran of many clubs, picked up by Detroit after a slew of injuries. They brought him up from the minor leagues. Third baseman Nick Castellanos among them. The 2-strike pitch.
Porcello's going for the strikeout. He generally tries to elevate that fastball, but that one too high to think about chasing.
Here's 1-2. Rick in his last 11 starts is 9-1 with a .275 earned run average. He's talked about pitching back here in Detroit for the first time and trying to maintain his focus and not making it about his Tiger teammates. He's run it to 3-2, and he said, I'm trying to block it out really after tonight. Then obviously I can go over and say hi to those guys, but with the race where it is, I'm really trying my hardest not to let any of that creep into my head. And he walks him. It is a rarity as he walks McGee. Fans, you can help NESN by taking a 2-minute survey. Enter for a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark on August 31st. If you're really lucky, part of that experience will be meeting Jerry Remy in person. Visit NESN.com/survey during the game for your chance to win.
Where are you going? You leaving the booth here? You got to be in the booth too.
I'll be in there too, but
yeah.
I mean, you know, I'll be working on my scorebook, and you can do the meet and greet, sign the autograph, and kiss the baby.
We have a lot of fun doing that.
We love visitors. Here's Saltalamacchia, just 196, although he has hit 11 home runs.
Now, you were talking about Porcello pitching against his former club, and I don't care what they say. It is a strange feeling, and it doesn't go away for a long period of time. Yeah, this is the first start he's had back at Comerica Park. Last year's start was at Fenway Park against the Tigers. It is strange to be out there.
Well, you know, he's alluded to that and the weirdness of it.
Yeah. Well, he said he's trying to get it out of his mind. It's not out of his mind.
No, he keeps being asked about it. Let's keep answering those questions. Wore that uniform for a long time. Big cut and a miss by Saltalamacchia. Down he goes, strike 3. Second K in the inning for Rick.
Now that's what you got to do with Saltalamacchia. When you get ahead of him, you've got to elevate the fastball. He's got a big uppercut swing, as you can see. And all those guys that have that type of swing are vulnerable to a high fastball.
Romine, a number 9 hitter, hitting .223 with 1 home run. He's the guy who took ball 4 with the bases loaded in yesterday's game. That pushed across a big 4th run. The Red Sox couldn't overcome that. Boston scoring 4 times in the first inning, but Porcello allowing a 2-run homer in this inning to give a couple back. Ian Kinsler on deck. Certainly tougher on the right-handed hitters here. 345 down the line as opposed to 330 for the left-hand hitters. Here's the 0-2.
Good pitch. He tried that 2-seam fastball, the one that lefties give up on, and he tries to pick up to bring it back to the inside corner, but that was not quite enough. But a good 0-2 pitch.
Is 1-2 coming. Ground ball toward the hole. A dive by Holt. He has it into second. He took away a base hit there. Brock Holt with an outstanding play gets the out. Xander Bogaerts taking a ball to begin the third inning. Red Sox on top 4-2. Jerry Remy and Dave O'Brien with you. And Garen Austin as well. Xander 1 for 1. Line drive single to left, and he scored a run in the first inning. He did not go, according to first base umpire Onora. Xander 1 for 5 yesterday. In play, roll to third base, a fair ball on top of the bag. McGee, and gets him by a step. So one away, and on Wednesday, August 31st, it's Lego Day at Fenway with the purchase of a game ticket. Fans receive a limited edition Red Sox themed player made with Lego bricks. And in addition, you'll be granted access to the kids concourse prior to the game for a special experience. Tickets are limited. Go to redsox.com/Lego to get yours today.
That should be a good take at Fenway.
Everybody loves Legos.
Makes some crazy things with those.
David Ortiz bluffing a bunt back to his home run swing in the first inning.
Now got the fastball inside. Ortiz ready for it and pulls it out of the ball pocket. Very high home run.
He was something to see in batting practice today. Ensler will pick that from his second base spot and throw him out. David launching one after another, and I mean deep drives way up into the bleachers. Tigers are going to honor him tomorrow. It's actually going to be tonight. They pushed it back to tomorrow in game 3 of the series.
Don't know why, but they did.
Had to wheel the gift in. It's a big one. Well, I have no idea what they're going to give him as Mookie Betts gets in. 0 for 1 with a fly to right. Brad Ausmus was talking about the reasons why he elected to pitch to the hottest hitter in baseball with runners at second and third in a 1-run game yesterday in the 9th inning. And he did say that had K-Rod fallen behind 2-0, they would have put him on.
It was almost too late. It was almost too late. That ball was an absolute bullet that Betts hit. And I wouldn't have fooled with him at all.
Kinsler made the play. I think Mr. Ausmus got a little bit lucky. He gambled on that. Won the game. Got to give him credit. The 2-1.
I don't like when they leave it up to a pitcher to go out to him and say, okay, we're going to go after this guy, but we're really not going after him. Let's see if he chases something off the outside edge. That puts negative thoughts in the head of the pitcher. I never bought that theory. It's like Ortiz knows, for example, when they're pitching around him, he doesn't think about swinging.
Right back to the foot of the hill and picked off by Fulmer. That's all for the Sox. They go 1-2-3. Partner of the Boston Red Sox. Experience the thrill of playing on DraftKings right now. Play free daily using the promo code NESSON at DraftKings.com. Red Sox up 4-2 here in the bottom half of the third inning. And the top of the order for the Tigers, Kinsler to lead things off. Lined out hard to left to Benintendi in the first inning.
Got great numbers he does against Porcello. 5:38 coming into the game, and his first out was a line drive out.
He started the eighth inning rally with a leadoff single yesterday, then Ibar double, Cabrera single, Victor Martinez single. JD Martinez took a walk, and eventually Romine walked with the bases loaded. They scored 3 times on 4 hits and 2 walks against the Sox pen. Rising heater there, and he cuts and misses. Down he goes on the fastball.
Well, we've seen him do that a couple of times tonight. He did it to Saltalamacchia last inning, got 2 strikes, elevated the fastball. Gets Kinsler with the elevated fastball. I'm not sure that was where it was supposed to go. Leon was setting up a way, but very successful for Porcello.
Ibar 0 for 1. He has tapped to second.
Once again, as usual, he has Ramirez just a few feet behind first base, and he has Brock Holt almost on the grass at third. Tried to bunt one down in third yesterday, but ended up going right back to the pitcher.
And the 0-1 down and in. He does not have very good numbers against Porcello. 5 for 28 now after the ground out first inning. Lost the handle on that one as that spun way outside. 2-1. Ibar switch hitter and all-star as recently as 2014 with the Angels. In there for a strike. Porcello really is the go-to guy in this rotation. Red Sox are 18-6 in his starts. They've won 10 of the last 11 that he has pitched in. Trying to hold up, but that's a swing and a miss, and down he goes for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks by Porcello. Tuesday, August 30th is Xander Bogaerts bobblehead night at Fenway. The first 15,000 fans receive a Xander Bogaerts bobblehead courtesy of Old Dominion Freight Line. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/promos.
2 strikeouts in this inning. Porcello, 1 on a high fastball. That time was the slider down and into Ibar.
Here's Cabrera, 0 for 1, grounded to second. He has homered twice against the Red Sox this season. The 1-0.
Don't see that very often. A little bit late by Cabrera on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball away from him.
On his way to a 12th 100 RBI season. Brock Holt quickly to his left, spins and gets him. Another good inning for Porcello. Gets him 1-2-3. 1986 Red Sox in game number 121. The Red Sox scored 3 touchdowns and kicked a field goal to beat the Indians 24-5. Tony Armas led the way for the offense. He drove in 6. Marty Barrett, Dwight Evans also got in on the fun, each with 4 RBIs. Red Sox lead this one 4-2 as we go to the 4th inning. Hanley Ramirez starts it. Soft line drive caught by Kinsler for the out. 1 away in front of Jackie Bradley. Jackie cranking a home run in the 1st inning, a 2-run shot. David Ortiz did the same thing. Both of those to right field, and the home run by Detroit by J.D. Martinez also to right field. And power alley 365 here. 420 to dead center. Now to that batter's eye. Very comfortable night here in Detroit.
If I'm not mistaken, the old Tiger Stadium was 440 to straightaway center field. Jackie Bradley last time up, elevated breaking ball, not a good one. All it was doing was spinning to home plate.
His 2nd home run of the year against the Tigers. Sox trying to beat Detroit for the first time this season. 0-4 against them. Here's the 2-1. High fly ball in right center field. Not enough carry on it though. Romine back there. 2 down. Let's get down to Garrett Austin.
Well, OB Jerry, we asked viewers to send in potential nicknames for Sandy Leon, and we got a great response, so I wanted to share some of the top names with you right now. We got the Lion, the Sandmaster, Ponce de Leon, Sandcatcher, the Professional, the Bat, El Toro, Chameleon, King of Leon, Sandstorm, and I took this inside the clubhouse. I asked Aaron Hill, and he said he preferred the Sandblaster, and I actually asked the mayor of Ding Dong City himself, Travis Shaw, and he said he liked Hurricane Sandy. As for Leon, you guys, he said he thinks this is crazy, and he can't even imagine that he even necessitates a nickname right now.
Well, I think he might at 382, 7 home runs, and the home runs just keep on coming for him. It is 2nd in as many games. He's hit 4 in the last 10. I think he should get the opportunity to decide that nickname, the 1-1. He rockets that one down into the corner, and a fair ball that'll jump up, and a fan will grab it. So it'll be 2 bases for Sandy into second base with 2 away.
And Leon continues to swing that bat well. The hard line drive down that right field line. They want to go inside against Leon. That ball is inside, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that he gets the barrel of the bat out and pulls. Fan reaches over. That is fan interference. You can see right there. But they figured that Leon would get a double anyway out of it, so that's why he stays at second base.
So Brock Holt will try and pick him up here. Brock 0 for 1 with a fly to left. He's already made a couple of really nice defensive plays at third.
I think what Guerin should do is continue to accumulate those nicknames and let Sandy pick the one he wants. I think that's a great idea.
Yep. I know he's a little bit embarrassed by the attention. I like The Professional, which was a terrific film. One of my favorite films of all time. He's turned into a highly professional hitter. See if this young man is about to be asked to vacate the premises as it has popped up on the infield. Backpedaling McGee. Ibar calls him off, and oncoming the left fielder Collins. Eventually making the catch. 1 man left. He may be headed for the exit. Presented by AAA. Tom Candiotti discussing the first time he met Stephen Wright. Plus Terry Francona says farewell to Big Papi in Cleveland. That is Sunday 5:30 only on NESN. Tito said he wishes that David would have retired a long time ago after he did some damage against the Indians. Victor Martinez, who played for Terry Francona in Boston, 0 for 1. He reached on an error by Dustin Pedroia in the second inning, and he was on board when J.D. Martinez homered. 4-2 Sox. Hammered, but a one-hopper to Bogaerts. Exactly where he was supposed to be, and he gets him. This summer, pump up the fun with Irving Oil's $5 million giveaway. 3 ways to play. You can drive away with a Ford Escape, $5,000 in cash, or the grand prize of $100,000. Get your game ticket at Irving Oil today. J.D. Martinez with a 2-run blast in the second. His 17th. You'd have a lot more if he didn't miss all that time with that elbow injury, you would guess.
Now, the fact that he went opposite field for the home run is no surprise. He's had 28 opposite field home runs over the last 3 seasons. That's the most of anybody in the major leagues.
I remember watching Mike Piazza for years when he was in his prime. You talk about opposite field power, that ability to drive the ball the other way, right center. He was unbelievable. I think the best I ever saw. The 1-1 into the dirt.
A game being played by Leon as he kind of brushes the dirt to J.D. Martinez to make him think he's coming inside. Instead, they go with the breaking ball away, but not close for J.D. to even think about swinging at.
Three and 1.
Look back at the home run in the second inning again, number 28 over the last 3 years to the opposite field, and he's got a beautiful inside-out swing with power.
Good count for him on the 3-1, and he hammers that one foul. The Tigers picked up Martinez 2 years ago after Houston cut him loose, and he became a free agent. Anybody could have signed him. Last year, 38 homers, 102 RBIs. He bat him 5th. 3-2. Just got a piece of that one.
It's amazing how guys change uniforms and the results change. They're maybe just in a happier place for them, more comfortable. It's hard to tell what's going to trigger a professional athlete.
The payoff pitch from Porcello. Liner and out of the range of Bogaerts, a base hit. So Martinez is 2 for 2.
Yeah, he really looks good so far in this game. I mean, he took a fastball the other way for a home run. Now he gets a breaking ball from Porcello. Now it stays up in the zone. Not a real good one. It's toward the outside part of the plate and just looks like it got a piece of the glove of Xander Bogaerts. I think Bogaerts may need a new glove. Looks like, yeah, he does. That finger broken on that play. And that'll have to be restitched as he goes to his backup. Going to his right. Actually, it looked like that was broken before contact by the baseball.
Did, didn't it?
It was, yeah.
The laces are already undone.
Yep.
So he might have been going to the backup anyway, unless he could get in and get it re-stitched up. Here comes the pitch to Collins, and down low. He has struck out 0 for 1.
You see right there the finger spread, and that's already ripped apart before he even goes after this ball. And if it's together, he may catch it. It goes right through the 5-hole.
Tell me about the backup.
Now
where's the backup kept during the game?
Usually in the clubhouse. Generally, players will bring just one glove down with them, and they'll keep their backup, which they use in batting practice, and always have something ready just in case. But believe me, players don't like going to their backup. They get so used to having their everyday glove out there that it's always strange when you have a new glove. But there are players in the big leagues that play their whole career with one glove. Just keep resurfacing it, restitching it.
The 3-0. And he went after it and popped it up. Pedroia racing out, coming on Jackie Bradley. Jackie there for the second out. Red Sox season ticket holders experience the best seats, price, and benefits Fenway has to offer, including potential postseason opportunities. For information on becoming a season ticket holder, just visit redsox.com/season tickets or call 877-RED-SOX-9 today.
You know, I saw Collins talking to the first base umpire. I wonder if he knew what the count was there. I was a little stunned to see him swing at the 3-0 count.
Me too.
And he might have been checking with Honora to see if the count was 3-0.
Here's McGee. He took a walk in the second inning. A slicer down the line. Betts giving chase, but off into the stands. Was down in the general area where that fan interfered with the double by Leon. Did they eventually boot that youngster out?
He might have talked his way out of it. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he didn't. It looked like for a while they were going to give him a break, but they may be giving him different seats. He's very apologetic.
I think he's getting a seat in his Toyota. Line drive base hit into right field. Martinez down to second. So McGee is on first and second with two away.
Another good approach right there against Porcello. You know, he's the kind of guy you got to think up the middle opposite field, and that time McGee going to the opposite field for the base hit.
Saltalamacchia will be next.
Wide open space between Pedroia and Hanley, and J.D. Martinez has to stop at second base, but he is in scoring position now with a couple of outs in the inning.
Saltalamacchia punched out in the second, so he's 0 for 1. A scoring opportunity now for Detroit. The number 8 hitter. He wails away and fouls it back for strike one. He's 0 for 5 lifetime against Porcello.
Little extra on that fastball from Porcello, 94.
Martinez at second, McGee at first. Big cut and a miss, 0-2. Well, he did not get cheated on that cut.
Back-to-back fastballs from Rick. He's seeing if Saltalamacchia can catch up to his fastball.
Salty now 31 years old. Awaits the 0-2. Wouldn't chase at 94 out of the zone.
It's that high fastball again once they get ahead.
Red Sox ahead 4-2 in the fourth. One-two pitch. That time he did chase, and down he goes, strike three. 2 men stranded. Ballpark in New England. If you think your backyard is in a league of its own, upload a short video of your backyard ballpark to NESN.com/ballparks. Jerry and I picked the winner. Line shot and a diving play by Cabrera to steal a single. So Benintendi denied, although he hit it stiff.
Yeah, good line drive and a sinking line drive by Benintendi, but Cabrera's done a nice job at first base. He's only made 4 errors on the season, and diving to his right that time to take a base hit away from Benintendi.
That is acrobatic for the big man.
Yeah, you know, we talk often about the low crouch, you know, the third baseman and first baseman get into. They got to react quicker in those spots to the second baseman and a shortstop.
Incidentally, if you win the backyard ballpark, Jerry will host a private party for your family and friends. This contest is presented in part by Lighthouse Construction. Ground ball and a little bit of friendly hop there for Ibar. Pedroia's retired. Dustin is 0 for 3. And 2 away for the Sox in the 5th.
I'm going to host a party, but it's going to be at your house.
That's right. You're not hosting it at your place.
No, it's not. Nobody's coming to my house. I'm hosting a party at your house, at your backyard ballpark. I don't have one.
Our director Mike Narachi says nobody but nobody gets to see the wizard behind the curtain.
No, that's true.
Here's Xander Bogaerts, who has singled and grounded out to third. Red Sox ahead 4-2 in the 5th inning.
I see cars coming up my driveway, and I'd run the other way.
Close the drapes.
I really do.
Call the
scares me to
police.
death.
Yeah. The 1-0. A ball, a strike on Xander. He is so far 5 for 19 on this road trip. And Fulmer with a 1-1 pitch. A high chop along third. A fair ball. And the throw is offline. So he's got himself a base hit.
Yeah, there's one. I think if McGee had to do it again, you'd let it go because it looked like it might have had a chance to go in foul territory. He's really got no chance of throwing out Bogaerts from here. Now let's see. If this ball bounces again, does it go foul? Well, that's a tough one. Tough decision to make by McGee at on the spare of the moment like that, but it had a chance, and he had no chance to get Bogaerts at first base, making the play.
Red Sox have their 6th hit. And now David Ortiz, who has cracked a home run, is 28th, a 2-run shot first inning. Since then, he has tapped to second base. At home run number 531 for Big Papi, who has now hit safely in 6 in a row. Red Sox up 4-2. And a 1-0 from Fulmer. First 2 not even close. David still leading the majors in slugging percentage and OPS.
Casey McGee going into the position between first and second baseman in the outfield.
Be 2-0.
Ortiz may have the green light here, and again, it may be on a pitch middle in. He doesn't even look for a sign. You know, I really think he's honestly on his own in those situations.
2 down, a man on, taking all the way, and he got nothing to swing at, nothing close. So he takes ball 4. In honor of Big Papi's final season, we look back at October 13 of 2013, Game 2 of the ALCS. Red Sox trailing the Tigers by 4 in the bottom of the 8th. He hit that grand slam. The Red Sox would go on to win the game and the series, and eventually the World Championship. The New England Honda dealers would like to say thank you, Papi. Here's to making history every time you come to the plate. What a night that was. I honestly believe if the Red Sox don't win that game, they do not get to the World Series. They would be down 2-0. That's how huge that hit was, as that one is inside and almost got Mookie Betts.
That's that 2-seam fastball. Fulmer that comes back in, way in on Mookie Betts at 95 miles an hour.
Betts is fly to right and grounded back to the pitcher. First and second for Boston with 2 down. Red Sox up by 2. Pops it up. The catcher Saltalamacchia couldn't find it anyway, but it's over the top of the screen and into the box seats, but that disappeared on him.
Yeah, just about that time of the night, twilight here in Detroit. Very difficult. If you can't find the baseball right away, very easy to lose it completely.
And a 1-1 pitch from Fulmer. Hot shot right to McGee. He'll go to second, and that will retire the side. Still 4-2 Red Sox. Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live after the game. TC, Tim Wakefield, and Steve Lyons will break it all down. You'll hear from Rick Porcello and John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason? Last half of the fifth. Red Sox leading 4-2. Rick Porcello going for win number 17. He allowed a 2-run homer to JD Martinez in the second inning. That's been it so far. Romine got jammed and pops a foul out of play. He is 0 for 1.
After Romine hits, we're going to show you a little subtlety that Porcello did with men on base last inning. That it's a small thing within the game, but it makes a difference, and we'll show you that after this hitter.
1-2 busted bat pop up. Here comes Bogaerts in front of the bag to make the catch.
All right, he's got Saltalamacchia at the plate. Now watch him come up and hold his glove for quite a long time up near his neck. Okay, now he's going to try to go upstairs. He's holding it, still holding it. He goes upstairs with the fastball, no swing. Now the next one, watch how quickly he gets rid of it, trying to throw the timing off of Saltalamacchia. He's upstairs and bing, right away. He gets rid of it. He doesn't hold it up there. So that, you know, as a hitter, you're trying to time the pitcher, but he's showing you something different with the quickness of the glove, and that throws you off a little bit.
Just a little.
Yes.
Slight adjustment there. Kinsler is lined to left and whiffed as he looks at a strike. And a 1-strike pitch to the second baseman downstairs. Now Porcello has done good work on this guy so far this evening. came in 7 for 13 against Rick in his career. The 1-1. Pop back foul out of play.
And Rick got away with one there. That was a slider that time that really stayed middle. And fortunately, Kinsler fouled that off instead of hitting it out of the ballpark. See the breaking ball, they wanted it away, but it stays middle of the plate, dead middle.
1-2 and down he goes. A cut and a miss on a 93-mile-an-hour Swifty.
Well, he corrected that mistake very quickly by going back to the fastball and away. That's where Leon wants it. That's where he gets it. And Porcello gets the strikeout.
His 6th. Arbella Insurance Foundation, the proud presenting sponsor of the WEEI Ness and Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. Dedicated to striking out cancer in kids, Arbella donates $50 for every strikeout by a Sox pitcher. Arbella Insurance Foundation, here for the Jimmy Fund, here for good. Ibar takes one down into the dirt. Porcello's grandfather, Sam Dente, played for the Red Sox in 1947. He was a shortstop. Signed with the Red Sox in 1941 and almost immediately went to serve in World War II. After the war, he played for the Red Sox in several teams. A fly ball to center field. This is going to be a very fast inning. He gets them in order. 1, 2, 3. Brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. The trouble for him was in the first inning when the Red Sox scored 4 times. Since then, the Red Sox have been held to 2 hits. Anthony Ramirez had a first inning base hit. He flares a foul back out of play for strike 1. So Hanley has 10 hits in his last 20 at bats. That's over 6 games. After him, Jackie Bradley and then Sandy Leon. It was a week ago tonight that Hanley belted a pair of 3-run homers and drove in 6 against Arizona.
I'll tell you one thing, Fulmer's not afraid to come inside with that fastball. It's a good fastball at 95, a 2-seamer, a cross-seamer, and he's not afraid to work guys inside with it.
Big kid out of Oklahoma City. Dave Dombrowski got him last year right at the trade deadline from Toronto for David Price. Part of that deal, he got 3 young pitchers. Dave Dombrowski waiting until the final seconds before the deadline expired. And that one is in there for strike 3, and Hanley knew it.
You know, we often talk about the choreography that goes on between infielders, outfielders, and what the pitcher is throwing. And you'll see that Porcello here is going to throw a changeup to Ibar. It's an 80-mile-an-hour pitch. Now, to the right of your screen, you'll see Pedroia briefly. And what he's going to do, he's going to be jumping to his left, as you can see there, because he's expecting that pitch to be pulled. Now, it was not pulled, but that's what I'm talking about, movement on pitches, both from infielders and outfielders.
Bradley swinging the first pitch, pops it a mile in the air to left. Ibar racing out there, coming in Collins, and they're 2 down. A lot of fast outs in this one. A's Ticket, Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets, has the best seats at the lowest prices from bleachers to boxes. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-BUY-SEATS. Dave Dombrowski coming back here to Detroit, where he was the GM for so long and the president. Told us the story of that trade to get Fulmer. He was the guy they absolutely had to have in that trade. And they were down to literally the final seconds. And I guess there's a button you have to push. Literally at the trade deadline. When you're making a deal, press the button to let the league know you've made the deal. And the legal counsel for the Tigers said somebody better press that button. They were literally counting down 9, 8, 7, right down to the deadline in order to get Fulmer.
Well, they got a good one.
Down and away here on Leon, who is lined to right and doubled. Four home runs last 10 games for Sandy. Brock Holt will hit next if given the opportunity. The Red Sox ahead 4-2 with 2 down in the 6th. And a good count for Leon, the 3-1. He went after it too and foul tipped it.
Yeah, pretty nasty 3-1 pitch there on the outside part of the plate, and really not one that Leon really wanted to swing at, I don't believe, because he's looking for something middle in. In the shift now with the 3-2 count.
3-2 serve toward the middle. Scooped up the throw here by Ibar and off target. That's going to be a base hit. Sandy's second hit tonight. Another multi-hit game for him.
Yeah, they went into the shift on the 3-1 count, expecting him to pull the ball, and this time he goes right back up the middle with it. Now, if they're playing him just strictly to pull, that becomes an easy out. But because they had gone into the shift, it becomes a base hit. You see where Ibar is playing now, where he's going to go. And from there, Dave, you to beat that out.
You're generous.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. I've seen you run.
First pitch in there for a strike on Brock Holt, who has flied out twice. Only when dinner is being served. So Sandy on. An example of the kind of season that he's having. Everything's going his way, including the shifts. And the batting average continues to be in the 380s for Sandy Leon. That was the Red Sox 7th hit tonight. Brock Holt looking for his first this evening against Fulmer. And a ball downstairs just off the corner. Drew Pomeranz on the hill tomorrow night in game 3 of the series against Daniel Norris. So 2 lefties. Pomeranz coming off his best effort and his first win with the Red Sox. That was against Cleveland. He was terrific. Up the middle, base hit. Leon to second base, takes the turn, but back into the bag, and he is safe. So back-to-back 2-out base hits here. Fans, you can help NESN by taking a 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark on August 31. Visit NESN.com/survey during the game for your chance to win.
That VIP experience, we get nothing but a lot of praise from the people who get a chance to do that. Get to go on the field, watch a little batting practice. They tour the ballpark. They get a chance to come up to the booth. They do a lot of different things. That's kind of a nice thing. We meet a lot of people who obviously do that and certainly enjoy the experience quite a bit, as we're enjoying the experience of this game so far.
You know what people love? They love to walk down the tunnel between the dugout and the clubhouse and off into the field, and it opens up, of course, right into the dugout. But everyone gets a thrill. You know, walking past where the batting cage is, which is behind the dugout. You get a real behind-the-scenes look there.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that, you know, most people don't get an opportunity to see, and it really is, you know, it's kind of historic when you walk through there. All the people that have gone through there throughout the years.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
Walk where Carl Yastrzemski walked. Here's Benintendi, runners at first and second and 2 down. He has grounded out and lined out. They get Rondon going in their bullpen. Fulmer allowing back-to-back singles here with 2 down. Sox trying to score for the first time since the first inning. 1-1 on the 22-year-old. Andrew has reached base in 10 of his 15 major league games. He has Leon at second and Holt at first. And Fulmer's 1-1. Little floater and a base hit. Leon trying to score. Romine up and gunning. Here's the throw, and it's cut, and the Red Sox have another run. An RBI for Benintendi, and they're on the corners. 5-2 Red Sox. That is 3 consecutive Boston singles with 2 down.
Yeah, that's nice 2-out play right there. Base hit by Leon up the middle against the shift. Holt with the base hit. And now it's a fortunate thing that this ball was hit softly, because if it's hit hard, they're not going to be able to send Leon even with 2 outs. But because the ball was not really a rocket out to center field, they had a chance to send Sandy, and he makes it without a problem. That ball was actually cut off by Cabrera, the first baseman, the cutoff man.
And Leon sliding in as he scores after he came up with his second hit. The batter will be Dustin Pedroia. And Saltalamacchia out to the hill, maybe to kill a little more time for that bullpen.
Yeah, and that's what it seems like, and it seems like he's no rush out there in the bullpen.
Pedroia has grounded out 3 times, once to second, once to third, and once to short. He has hit safely in 9 in a row, so that's on the line tonight.
Not a bad time to go at first.
Big cut and a miss. Benintendi holding.
You know, a lot of times in this situation, you got a 5-2 lead. They may not even throw through, so you might get 2 men in a scoring position here.
Brock Holt at third. Red Sox have handled this guy a lot better now here tonight than they did. Here's a ground ball base hit with a runner moving. Another run is in. They had Benintendi on the move. Holt is in to score. Benintendi down to third. Red Sox ahead 6-2. 4 straight hits.
That's a beautiful thing right there. I mean, first of all, it's really a no-brainer to send the runner in that situation, because they're probably not going to, you know, throw through. But Kinsler was going over to cover, and that opened up a very big hole between first and second. Now look at Kinsler going over. I don't know if he'd have got that ball if he stayed in position, but he may have. But because they start the runner, they get a position man out of position, and a run scores for the Red Sox.
And the Sox with 2 here in the 6th, bidding for more with Bogarts the batter. And now Pedroia is the runner at first base, and he has hit safely in 10 in a row. Xander going for a 3-hit ball game. A single in the first inning, infield single in the 5th.
I'm really shocked right there that Kinsler was covering second base, because I don't think they had any intentions of throwing through, and he really pulled himself out of position to maybe make a play on Pedroia.
Yeah, he wound up in another zip code. They're convinced that Pedroia will be taken off here.
You know what they're doing? They're wasting time.
Yeah, here comes Ausmus. Finally, his pitcher is ready in the bullpen. And the Red Sox get to Michael Fulmer pretty early in this one, relatively speaking. They got 4 runs in the first, 2 more here in the 6th, and that's it for him. Last time out, he had a complete game against Texas, but the Red Sox knock him around a bit to the tune of 10 hits. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Kia. The Tigers go to the pen, and the Red Sox have a 6-2 lead. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Sox looking for more, ahead 6-2 here on this Friday night in Detroit, and a new pitcher on, Bruce Rondon, out of their bullpen with runners at first and third, and Bogart's the batter. Rondon, a sizable right-hander at 6'3", 275. He's been pitching well. He's only allowed 1 run his last 9 outings, striking out 10. And there are 2 out, but he inherits 2 runners. And still convinced that something is up with Pedroia at first base. So Fulmer knocked out. Not nearly as effective as the last time the Red Sox saw him at Fenway. And the Red Sox continue to score for Porcello. 0-2 the count.
I'll say one thing. If he does to Pedroia at first base, you can get a very, very good jump off Rondon. He's got that leg kick that swings way behind the rubber.
.25 years old, from Venezuela. David Ortiz waiting on deck. Big Papi has already homered tonight. So here's Jackie Bradley. There goes Pedroia. And a ground ball toward the middle, but Ibar has it and gets him at first base. The Red Sox strike for a couple of more runs. They knock out the starters, 6-2 Boston. He's allowed 3 hits, a 2-run homer, and the Red Sox continue to get him runs. They have 6 on the board for him tonight as Cabrera hits here in the last half of the 6th inning, and the Sox are up 6-2. Miguel Cabrera has grounded to second and to third. He has been a tremendous hitter for such a long time. Really beginning in 2009 here in Detroit. Since that point, he's hit .324, .328, .344, .330, .348 in 2013, and .338 last year. A big man who can hit it a mile, but always hits for a high average.
And why, Dave? Because he's a guy that can use the whole ballpark. I mean, you know, right field exceptional going the other way, center field, and pull the ball.
Victor Martinez on deck, then J.D. Martinez. We talk about the run support for Porcello. He was tops in the American League in runs per 9 for him coming into tonight at 6.5 runs a game. I always wonder about that, if that's just the luck of the draw, or is it the pitcher's style that has something to do with that. The 2-2 on the way. You know, he's a ground ball guy. He gets a lot of quick outs. He thought he had pitch inside, but that's going to be strike 3, and Cabrera is down on strikes. He turned around and looked at Jerry Lane, who said, "You're out."
Yeah, it looked like a good pitch. I think it might have been a cut fastball on the inside part of the plate. 88 miles an hour, and just barely got the corner. But Cabrera, you know, everything had been up in that zone. That's the first time Porcello went down low, and it completely fooled Cabrera, and he didn't like the call.
Strikeout number 7 for Rick tonight. Victor Martinez has reached on an error and grounded to short. Goes after the first pitch and flies that one into left field. Benintendi waiting on it. 2 down. Say hello to the DD Perks loyalty program. It's how Dunkin' Donuts shows big time appreciation to loyal fans with great offers and perks like a free beverage when you join, another on your birthday. Enroll today at ddperks.com or the Dunkin' Donuts mobile app. The Red Sox run on Dunkin'.
You know, Dave, I'm not trying to ignore your point about getting runs for Porcello, but I think it is the luck of the draw. I really do. I mean, many years as I played, I can't say there's one guy who went out there and said, "Oh, we're going to get a lot of runs for this guy tonight." You know?
Yeah. I wonder about tempo sometimes, and guy who gets a lot of fast outs, but I think you're right. It has to come back to just being lucky.
Yeah, how many times we see really, really good pitches not get any runs, you know, and they're very good pitches, but they just don't get a lot of runs to work with.
And even guys who work fast and get you right back in the dugout.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just not their year. It's been Porcello's year, and he's not questioning it. He's loving every minute of it. Martinez with a 2-run homer and a single. I'm sure, though, there were guys you on the defensive side of the ball you really preferred to play behind.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about that.
Doesn't mean you're going to score more runs for the guy necessarily. Big cut and a miss.
There were guys that, you know, you knew were sinker ball pitches. If you were an infielder, you knew you were going to get a lot of ground balls. There were guys you play behind like Nolan Ryan, who you could take a nap for 9 innings and have a good chance of nothing coming your way.
Maybe a no-hitter. Fouled off out of play.
Most of the outs that he got were strikeouts or fly ball outs, and of course then you have a guy like, let's take for example Derek Lowe. If you play behind him, you expected as an infielder to have a very busy day.
Nobody on base here with 2 down. And poke foul out of play by Martinez. Tyler Collins will be next. But the Red Sox lead it here 6-2. MLB.TV Premium is everything you've come to expect and more. You can watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. Martinez being pesky here. Hit his 17th home run in the 2nd inning. Well, those great pitchers were in their prime. The guys like Seaver and Ryan and Doc Gooden, Sandy Koufax, Pedro Martinez, guys like that, they were a no-hitter waiting to happen. Even if they didn't get one in their career, I mean, every fifth start in the prime of their career.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more with you. You know, because I played behind a couple of those guys, and I watched Pedro, and you had the feeling when he was at the top of his game that every time he took them out, he had a chance to pitch a no-hit. I mean, you just had that feeling going into the game.
Man, did they pack ballparks too. The 1-2 will miss. Porcello so far tonight has allowed only 3 hits to the Tigers, and 2 of them to this man at the plate, J.D. Martinez. Breaking ball didn't snap. 3-2 to count. He's walked 1 man, McGee in the second. Here comes the payout pitch, and he skipped it right to the backstop. So it'll be ball 4, and Martinez reaches for the 3rd time. Rick is one of those guys who takes a walk personally. He's walked 2 tonight. Stay tuned for Red Sox Final, presented by Plainridge Park Casino. TC, Tim Wakefield, and Steve Lyons will preview Drew Pomeranz start tomorrow against the Tigers. Drew going 7 2/3 in Cleveland, and he was terrific. Collins now a strikeout and a flyout. He's 0 for 2. Fouled away, strike 1.
There's Tommy still working. Tommy McLaughlin, Red Sox glove fixer tonight. Because he's in charge of the Red Sox clubhouse. Still trying to get Bogart's glove back together, and the sooner the better for Zen.
Tommy is a man of many talents.
Oh yeah.
You have to be to do that job.
One of the best in the business. This guy works so hard. It's incredible.
You want something done, that's the man to talk to if you were the Boston Red Sox. 0-2. Cut on and missed, and Collins is blown away on another good fastball. 1 man left. Top of the 7th, David Ortiz to swing away. He has already done that tonight with a 2-run bomb in the first inning. 1 for 2 with the home run, his 28th. So he has tied Mookie Betts for club high honors, and Mookie's on deck. Red Sox ahead 6-2. A ball and a strike on Big Papi, who's hit safely in 6 in a row. You mentioned that David likes to swing the bat at Comerica. That is true of most ballparks. .319 lifetime here. 2-1. He went through a little bit of a lull, but he seems like he has recovered that swing and now has 95 RBIs. Punches that one for a base hit into right field. So David on for the 3rd time. A single, to home run, and a walk. Time for a game break now, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's our man TC. Man, we have seen that before, Tom. Thank you very much. In that ballpark for sure. This one played like a bandbox early as Betts cuts and misses. Mookie on the night is 0 for 3. Red Sox with a pair of home runs in the first inning. JD Martinez homered in the second inning for the Tigers, but it has settled down since then. Check swing foul to make it 0-2 on Betts. Mookie with 289 total bases. That's the most in the majors and the most by a big league hitter through 120 games since Miguel Cabrera in 2013, and he was the MVP that year. 1-2. You're hearing that a lot when people talk about Mookie Betts these days. MVP candidate. And the 1-2. Line drive and off the glove of Ibar and off into left field. Ortiz scampering into second and stopping there, so Betts is on for the first time.
Now we've seen a couple of line drives go off the glove of shortstops tonight. Ibar able to get a little bit of leather on this breaking ball, and that kind of a rising line drive right there that Ibar just cannot quite get to. Does get the top of the glove on it to slow it up. The Red Sox got something going here. Nobody out, a couple of men on.
7-game hitting streak for Betts. Sox have 6 hits in the last 2 innings. They're all singles. Brings the total up to 12. Andy Ramirez now is 1 for 3. And he nubs that one foul for strike 1. Kyle Ryan, a left-hander, loosening in the bullpen for Detroit. Red Sox knocked the starter Fulmer out after 5 2/3. They got him for 6 runs, 10 hits. So Ausmus had to go to his bullpen fairly early after watching Fulmer throw a complete game last time out. They have him on an innings limit. Oh, 2 on Hanley. Toronto has a 2-1 lead on Cleveland there in the 8th inning. Red Sox and the Orioles are a game and a half behind the Blue Jays in the division. Andy Ramirez behind 0-2. Runners at first and second. And Rondon firing. Toward the alley, on the run, Martinez. He's not going to get there. Onto the grass, the track up against the fence. Ortiz scores very quickly. Here comes Betts right behind him. They both touch home plate, and the Red Sox lead at 8-2. And Ramirez with his second hit. He's really cooking at the plate.
Boy, he certainly is. And this ball surprised me a little bit. I think it surprised David Ortiz at second base how far it carried out there. And I got to tell you, that's a spinning breaking ball right there, and pretty good job, very good job, I should say, going the other way by Hanley Ramirez. Now look at David. Now here comes Mookie Bolt. Watch Bolt almost catch David Ortiz.
May have run right up his back.
Yeah.
So Hanley picks up a couple of RBIs on the double and brings up Jackie Bradley. Still nobody out. Red Sox expanding the lead to 8-2. 2 more hits for Hanley. You mentioned it early in the game that the 3 days he had off when he was away from the ball club may have healed up that wrist. Maybe settling down some inflammation in there. Who knows? But
yeah, it's quite possible, because there's no doubt in my mind the last time I saw him play in person that wrist was still bothering him.
Does not appear to be anymore. Jackie 1 for 3, 2-run homer in the first inning. Socks that one into center field, driving Romine back. He'll make the play. Hanley Ramirez to tag. That's the first out of the inning, and he's down to third.
I want to show you a sign of a mature hitter and a veteran hitter in David Ortiz, a guy that knows what he wants to swing at. And you take a look at the first pitch, no chance there. That ball's on the outside part of the plate. I'm not going to mess with that. That's not close at all. Not going to mess with that. Away again. I don't want that, but I want this next one, because I know on 2-1 he's coming out over the plate, and Ortiz was just all over it. So, you know, he just plays head games with pitches. He got himself in the right count. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and got this inning started with a base hit.
David grabbing his bats here and heading down the tunnel. Sandy Leon is 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Hanley at third base with the infield in. And in there for a called strike. Of course, I was just being facetious when I said that David scored quickly. It was not the case.
No, there was a little hesitation too at second base. He wasn't quite sure how far that ball was going, and then when he finally did get going, well, let's say he was going as good as he could go.
Good as he could go. Fast enough. As the Red Sox have scored 4 times over the last 2 innings. And taking a commanding lead here against the Tigers. Still only 1 man out. And a 1-2 from Rondon into the dirt. Sandy somehow managing to bring his batting average up. It's up to .388 with the 2 for 3. Brock Holt 1 for 3 tonight. He's on deck. And the 2-2. Cut on and missed. So he's retired on strikes. And there are 2 down. Tomorrow at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch. Presented by Joseph Abood, available at Men's Warehouse. TC Tim Wakefield and Steve Lyons will analyze David Ortiz's success at Comerica. That's continued tonight for Big Papi with 2 more hits. Brock Holt now base hit last time up, and he scored a run. Sox have 13 hits to 3 for Detroit. Line foul on a play down the left field line by Brock. He's playing third base tonight. He's made 2 fine picks over there. And the 0-1 pitch to Brock Holt. in there for a strike.
Also had a big base hit, did Holt, in the 6th inning. Back to back with Leone with 2 outs, and the Red Sox eventually scored 2 runs in the 6th.
The 0-2 waved at and missed, and pitched down into the dirt. He strikes out. So the Red Sox will get 2 and now lead it 8-2 in the 7th. Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Hair Cuttery, smart look, smart prices. And by the Massachusetts Highway Safety Division. Red Sox with a big lead, 8-2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Aaron Hill will now enter the fray. He is at third base for Brock Holt. And Rick Porcello continues to pitch, on his way to 17 wins if he can pull it off here tonight. And he will get the bottom third of the order for the Tigers. McGee, Saltalamacchia, and Romine. Eight strikeouts for the right-hander so far. First time he has pitched against the Tigers in Detroit since the trade to the Red Sox. And he's getting support, as he always seems to get. One popped him up, foul, back out of play. One-two to McGee. He has walked and singled.
That pitch has not been really good for him tonight. The curveball, he hasn't thrown a lot of them because I don't think he's feeling it that much.
Popped up again, not playable, off into the stands. Mark Logan going to the bullpen for the Tigers. Here comes pitch number 100 from Rick Porcello. Ground ball, Pedroia with a slide. That was nifty. On to first, and he got him. McGee retired, and fans, you can help NESN by taking a 2-minute survey. Enter for a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark August 31st. Visit NESN.com/survey during the game for your chance to win. So Porcello with another ground ball out. Now Saltalamacchia, who has struck out twice in the second, again in the fourth.
You look at that cap that Porcello's wearing, right? And that has not been changed since opening day. That is nasty.
There might be a gallon of sweat in it.
Yeah, that reminds me of Trot Nixon when he played here. His hat was nasty.
Back to the mound. He couldn't make the play. Bogart's behind second, bobbles it. He drops it. And Saltalamacchia a little bit fortunate on that one to reach first base.
He was, because Porcello, who usually does a pretty good job fielding his position, the ball gets by him, and then Bogarts comes over and the ball, well, you know, it looks like he's got his gamer back, but the ball could not be controlled by Bogarts. Porcello had his feet crossed, and then Bogarts just couldn't get the handle on it. If he does, he's got a chance to throw out Saltalamacchia.
That'll be a base hit. Here's Romine. He's gone 0 for 2. If you were not with us earlier in the ball game, Xander had his game glove and he went to make a lunging play on it, and when we slowed down the replay we could see that the laces on the fingers were already undone.
And now it's all nice and new. And
ground ball picked up by Ramirez to Bogarts, back to first, got him. Well, he's done that a lot, Rick Porcello, in his career. Another double play. 8-2 Boston. Lead. Let's go to Guerin.
Well, Obi, I talked to Torey Lovello earlier today, and he said that John Farrell arranged a trip to Ann Arbor, and he invited Lovello as well as die-hard Michigan fan Brian Butterfield, who basically gave a history lesson on the way there. Lovello said they watched practice and got to meet Jim Harbaugh, and he said it was an incredible experience just to witness the tradition and see the leadership. And guys, Lovello said, you know, at this point in the season, it's a little bit of a grind, and he said it was nice for the coaches to get out and step away from it for a little while.
And they let John Farrell address the troops as well. Butter is an off-the-hook all sports fan.
Well, Patriots in Michigan. Unbelievable.
When it comes to football in particular there, but he watches a lot of college basketball. And obviously his first love is the job he's working, but a serious sports fan. Benintendi leading off here in the 8th. He has gone 1 for 3 with an RBI single, and he torches that one down the line. Should be extra bases for the rookie. Martinez will pick it up on the track, and it's a double for Benintendi, who's gone 2 for 4. Good looking swing.
Yep, takes that breaking ball that's down and in and hooks it right down that right field line, keeps it in fair territory, and has the easy stand-up double. Actually, that was a changeup, at 82 miles an hour. So a good job staying back on it.
Red Sox keep on adding up the hits, now 14 hits. And Pedroia looking for his second. Dustin ran a hitting streak to 10 straight with an RBI single in the 6th inning. He is 1 for 4 tonight. And he looks at a strike. Xander Bogaerts on deck. He has 2 hits. David Ortiz has 2 hits. So does Hanley Ramirez. Sandy Leon, of course, and Andrew Benintendi, all with a multiple hit game. And 0-2 on Pedroia. Red Sox came into the ball game as a team hitting .285, tops in the league, 18 points higher than the Cleveland Indians, who are second. 18 points. Chopped to short. Runner holding. Ibar fires close and safe. Benintendi holding at second base, so Pedroia on with another hit.
I think they got to take a look at this possibly. Arsmus is asking the home plate umpire to take a second because they want to look on video to see what the call at first base should be. And from that angle, it looks like Pedroia did beat it.
And we're still waiting on Ausmus.
It's a heck of a play by Ibar, I can tell you that. There's the stretch. Ooh.
Nope.
Forget about it.
Of course, it's got to be inside that glove. I couldn't tell by that angle. So the Red Sox have runners at first and second. No challenge. And Bogaerts, the hitter. Xander is 2 for 4. Good sign for him. A multi-hit game. Encouraging with the slump he's been in. Pounded in there for strike 1. Here's a different angle to play at first base. Of course, they didn't challenge on it. See the glove opening up there? Well, couldn't tell there. Nobody out. Very quiet crowd of about 36,000 here. They have not had much to scream and shout about.
Now they will after the game if the score stays the same, because I believe it's fireworks night here at Comerica Park.
You know what that means for you and I?
Well, let's hope they hold off a little while in starting the fireworks.
Usually means a quick exit for you and I.
Yeah, usually does, but
we'll see. The 2-strike pitch. Because there's really no sense in doing a post-game show involving you and I when you can't hear one darn thing we're saying.
If the lights go out and the fireworks go up, we can get away with pretty much anything then, can't we?
Yeah, we could. Well, Shaw has come to the on-deck area now. Travis Shaw to hit for David Ortiz, who went 2 for 3 with home run number 28. A blast in the first inning to right field for Big Papi. High fly center field, pretty well struck. Romine back though with room to make the play. Benintendi will tag and he'll move from second to third. That is out number 1. CBS Health is a proud supporter of Stand Up to Cancer. We invite you to share your hashtag reasons to stand up by posting a photo or video of why you stand up to cancer and tag at CBS in action. So Shaw to be announced. His first at bat tonight. Runners at first and third with 1 down. Red Sox ahead 8-2.
I think when you look at the situation with Ortiz, the Red Sox, with a comfortable lead of 8-2. Ortiz had to run the bases last time out, which is not comfortable for him at all. And it was pretty clear that when he was walking down the steps of the dugout after taking his bats with him, that he was gone for the night to get treatment.
And the plan was, John Farrell talked about it, the plan before the game was if the game presented itself a score like 8-2, they would get him out of the game.
Yeah.
Get him off his feet. Got on and missed by Shaw. Red Sox with 15 hits and 8 runs, so it presented itself. Barnes throwing in the pen for the Red Sox. John Farrell also said before the game that Matt Barnes is going to get a crack at that 8th inning now. And here he is on cue along with Heath Hembree. Barnes did not appear yesterday as the bullpen collapsed. He was unavailable. Rick Porcello with another strong outing. What else is new? He's just had a dynamite season, and if he wins tonight, Porcello will be 17-3, be tied for the league lead in victories, and the Red Sox will be 19-6 in games he has started.
Now, who in spring training would have predicted that? You know, you expected a better year out of Porcello, but this type of year, I don't think anybody could have predicted that.
I agree. Sitting with Clay Buchholz, who was superb yesterday. Starting pitching for the Red Sox has been carrying this ball club for the most part. Now tonight 8 runs, got 8 the other day as well, but the starting pitching has been excellent with very few exceptions. Here's the 3-1 to Travis Shaw, and he walks him. That's going to load up the bases. Time for our poll question presented by People's United Bank. Jerry, we see what topics people can vote on to hear you talk about on NESN Sports Today. Hanley's hot, Ortiz closing in on 100 RBIs, or Porcello's return to this ballpark. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply.
It's 3 great topics, and we'll have those answers for you in the car on the way back to the hotel. A live shot.
Here's Mookie Betts. He's 1 for 4 with a single and no place to put him. 89 RBIs now for Mookie. He has had an excellent road trip, of course, after what he once again did to the Orioles at Camden Yards. Benintendi at third, Pedroia at second, and Shaw at first, and 1 down in the 8th. And Lowe, the right-hander, with a 1-1, and in there for a strike. This has got to be a great time to be Mookie Betts.
Yeah, I believe it is. You know, when you're playing as good as he's playing, it is a lot of fun to go to the ballpark every day.
1-2 coming, and down he goes. Maybe not at that moment, but he is having an awful lot of fun.
You know, the best thing about Mookie is he never stops trying to be better. You know, he's always, we talked about this, I believe, yesterday in the broadcast. He's always asking questions, always wants more information, always, you know, it's constant. He just can't get enough, and he just loves to play.
With his go-to guy, Torey Lovullo, right there, as they talk all the time, but everything. Certainly great for Mookie to have a guy like that he can lean on in good times and bad. Not many bad times lately. Hanley with a roller foul. I mean, it's got to be the great time for him because he's right on the verge of exploding as a national star, and he may already have gotten there with the season that he's having, but he's right on the edge of everybody knowing who he is. And perhaps becoming a superstar. Here's the 0-1 to Hanley. He has singled and doubled. He's 2 for 4. And swinging one of the hottest bats on the ball club, hitting .280.
Well, you look at the things that Betts can do. I mean, here's a guy that's hitting over 300, is going to have over 30 home runs, is going to have over 100 RBIs, is going to have over 20 stolen bases. Right now, I believe.
That one ripped down the line all the way to the wall. Benintendi comes in to score. Pedroia is in to score. Shaw to third. And another rocket by Hanley Ramirez. And the Red Sox open it up now 10-2.
Well, have a night, Hanley. I mean, this ball rocketed down that left field line. Last 2 times up, doubles, one to the gap in right center field. This time gets an inside fastball and pulls it. That's very impressive. Using the whole ballpark tonight to drive in runs. Just getting back to Betts for a second. He's got 9 outfield assists also. So, I mean, you know, this guy's got a lot going for him.
Both ways. Some talent. Runners at second and third. The Red Sox coming through with the bases loaded moments ago. So everything is clicking tonight. Red Sox have had such a devil of a time with the bases loaded this year. But now lead the game 10-2, and a lot of fans are heading for the exits at Comerica. They're saying the heck with the fireworks.
They've already seen the fireworks out of the Red Sox bats.
Yeah, 16 hits. Jackie Bradley looking to add on. Jackie has a 2-run homer. He's also fly to center, fly to left, and fly to center again. Sandy Leon on deck. And the 1-1. It's sharply but foul.
Yeah, I like to take that one back that I just said, you know, about people leaving early because they've already seen the fireworks. It's kind of, it's not really good. It's been used a lot. I'm going to take it back.
All right, you can.
It's a mulligan.
We're going to edit it out. It will not appear in Soxen 2.
Soxen 2.
Taking it out of there.
Yeah. It was kind of lame.
I've had a couple of those. I'd like to, you know, lean onto the edit button. Into the dirt and stop by Salt of the Market. Jerry, they're not all going to be gems.
No. I liked Mookie Bolt. I like that one.
I like Mookie Bolt because you tied in the Olympics very neatly there. That was nice.
But you can take the last one and you can just cut it out of.
Consider it done. It's done.
It's gone. It's my mulligan for the night.
We can do that, right?
Soxen 2, don't show it. Show the double, but then stop the tape after that. Right. Go to the next inning.
Cut it out. Just, use the scissors, whatever you have to do. Second and third with 2 away. 8th inning and a 10-2 lead. Red Sox have really bounced back from a brutal defeat yesterday and put that one in the rearview mirror with all of these runs and fine pitching from Porcello again. And Lowe with a 2-2. Can't get him to chase it. Jackie has homered in 3 of his last 5 games, including that 4 RBI game 2 nights ago. So he is also making a run at a 100 RBI season, as is Hanley Ramirez. Swing and a miss, and down he goes, strike 3. But the Red Sox continue to score and lead it 10-2 in the 8th. But to keep it moving moment. It's brought to you by Old Dominion.
Well, 4 of the strikeouts tonight for Porcello going on a high breaking ball there. There's a fastball by Kinsler, who hits him very well. Another breaking ball, the Cabrera cut fastball on the inside part of the plate. And the fastball right by Collins.
Old Dominion Household Services, self-moving services that deliver. And Heath Hembry will make an appearance here, just recalled from AAA Pawtucket on Monday, August 15th, his 3rd stint of the year. He last appeared for the Red Sox on the 23rd of July against Minnesota. Another change, Marrero taking over at second base with a big lead. John Farrell getting some of the regulars into the dugout. And Alex Presley will hit for Kinsler, so both sides are starting to do that. Kinsler was 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. So tonight he was pretty quiet. Ibar on deck. And then Cabrera scheduled to hit the Red Sox with a 10-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning in Detroit. Tigers came in 3.5 back in the wild card behind Seattle by half a game. By the way, Cleveland has tied up Toronto 2-2 in the 9th inning. The Red Sox win this ball game. They have an 8-run lead. And Toronto should fall. The Sox would be only a half game out of first. John Farrell got another excellent pitching performance from Rick Porcello. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. He struck out 8. High deep drive into right field off the bat of Presley. Way back there, but so is Mookie Betts on the warning track to haul it in. 1 out. Don't miss Dining Playbook every Saturday morning at 9 on NESN. Billy and Jenny take you on a journey at the intersection of where sports and dining meet. Dining Playbook on NESN, driven by New England Chevy dealers. Have you made an appearance on Dining Playbook?
Yeah, I have. They've actually visited a couple of my restaurants. And of course, they always give good reviews. So
they always do.
I think they always do. Yeah.
I mean, you were well reviewed, but did they do that for everybody?
I think they do. I don't know. I don't know.
I've seen them going to the North End, and
yeah, they just go to places where they know they're going to give a good review.
Actually, you're right.
They got to walk out and say, "Well, that stunk." Don't come here, folks.
They hated the pasta. Chopper handled by Marrero, and down goes Ibar. Machado coming up to hit for Cabrera.
Got a good idea from the truck. What they should do is go around all of Major League Baseball, all the American League, and do every press room, and then tell us which one was the best press room.
Oh, I'd love to hear those reviews.
Yeah. Because there's a few you'd leave and go, well, that stunk. Don't eat that.
Dicey ones.
Yeah.
Believe me, everyone thinks we've got it made, free food and everything. First of all, we pay.
Oh yeah.
We actually pay. Some of them I'd rather not. I'm going to leave that up to Billy and Jenny.
There's a lot of them I notice that you don't even bother eating it.
It's true.
You eat before you come to the ballpark.
And I've done my scouting. Been around a little while, so I know the ones that I'm likely to have some problems with. The worst thing to do is have an upset stomach during a game that you're trying to broadcast.
Don't even bring that up.
I know it's happened.
We had one yesterday watching that game.
Yeah, we did, for different reasons. 0-2 the count on Machado. Embry trying to make it a 1-2-3. They're going to bring McCann to the on deck area. He would hit for Victor Martinez. Both managers going to their benches with a 10-2 Red Sox lead. High and wide on that one. Now his role could be interesting moving forward.
Well, I agree with you, Dave, because everything's up in the air in the bullpen right now, and everybody's got an opportunity, and they're going to play the hot hand. And whoever that hot hand may be is going to get those close games.
Well, yesterday Robbie Ross was very effective in his 1 inning. Some wanted to see him pitch another inning. The way it turned out, I count myself. And he pitched very effectively. The 1-2 from Heath Hembree. And just missed at 96. His problem has been left-handers. Left-hand hitters have given him some fits. They're hitting .418 against him. The right-handers have done nothing against him, just .198. And back to the hill, backhanded by the right-hander, and he'll get him. And they go 1-2-3, 10-2 Boston. Rick Porcello outstanding once again. 7 innings, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. David Ortiz home run number 28. Hanley's had a big night with 4 RBIs. They knocked Fulmer out of the game after 5 2/3, and the Red Sox with a big lead. Number of changes here for the Tigers as we go to the 9th inning. We'll have those for you in just a moment as Sandy Leon looks for his 3rd hit of the ball game. He has a double and a single, 2 for 4. Bounding ball foul. Starting in center field, Presley takes over for Romine. Machado is the new second baseman. Romine staying in the game to play first. Kyle Ryan, the left-hander, on the hill. One ball and 1 strike on Sandy, who has lifted his average tonight. 6 points. Making a move toward 400 again. And a 1-1. Now tomorrow night, Drew Pomeranz trying to keep this outstanding starting pitching going for the Red Sox. Coming off a outstanding outing against the Cleveland Indians. He's up against fellow lefty Daniel Norris. Then on Sunday, Eduardo Rodriguez will pitch at 110 after coming out of his last one with great stuff. He'll be taking on Verlander.
Yeah, I believe he threw on the side today and got the thumbs up from the medical crew and feeling okay to make that start this weekend here in Detroit.
On this long trip, which has had one ugly day, but a lot of high points too. Starting off with that win in Cleveland, then the sweep of Baltimore, a game the Red Sox should have won yesterday. That ended a 6-game winning streak, but Red Sox hoping to start another one tonight. And the pitching has really driven things, although the Red Sox have 10 runs and 16 hits in this one. 3-2. He spoiled that one. Aaron Hill on deck.
Now, big key to this game tonight was the 4 in the first inning. You know, you come off a very, very difficult loss yesterday where Buchholz pitched very well for the Red Sox. And you put 4 on the board in the next game right away before Porcello even takes the mound.
Leon down on strikes.
So that kind of changes the whole complexion of the way you feel about yourself, you know, as the game starts.
And David Ortiz with a 2-run homer. And later in the same first inning, Jackie Bradley with a 2-run homer. And the Sox were off to the races. Hill for the season hitting .272 with 9 homers, 34 RBIs. He looks at a strike. We are in the 9th inning. Andy Ramirez with 4 RBIs. Up the middle. Ibar with a spin and throws, and that's a pretty play to get him. 2 down. Get expert emergency care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center at Fenway. The first aid station is located right behind section 12 on the lower concourse. Visit bidmc.org.
How about that play by Ibar? I mean, you know, not much going right for the Tigers tonight, but he showed exceptional range on that going up the middle, spins and throws to first base to get Hill.
Here's Benintendi. He's had a good night with a single, a double, an RBI, and a run scored.
The play we're talking about here, Ibar, I mean, that looks like a base hit. But he scoops it, spins, jumps, and throws, and Hill out at first base.
A slicer foul. Andrew now hitting .333. Still searching for that first home run. Marrero on deck. And a left-hander with the 0-2. With a win tonight, the Red Sox will have won 7 out of their last 8. And will go to 25-16 since the 3rd of July. Swing and a miss, and he's retired. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox in the 9th. Presented by DCU. TC, Tim Wakefield, and Steve Lyons will preview Drew Pomeranz start against the Tigers tomorrow. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Red Sox up 10-2 with 16 hits tonight against the Tigers. Fernando Abad coming out of the Red Sox bullpen. Rick Porcello went the first 7, allowing only 4 hits, 8 Ks, and is on the verge of being 17-3. And McCann is going to bat for Victor Martinez as we go to the last half of the 9th inning.
And you've got some good news from Cleveland.
Yes, the Indians came back and stunned Toronto, and that means the Red Sox pull this one off tonight. They're 3 outs away. They're going to be a half game out of first place. Indians winning 3-2. That's a final. So McCann goes after the first pitch. He's hitting .207 with 9 home runs and 38 driven in. This would also be the first Red Sox victory over the Tigers this season. Some of the 36,000 tonight, Red Sox fans here at Comerica Park. One ball, 1 strike on McCann. J.D. Martinez, who is responsible for their 2 runs, is on deck. He had a home run in the 2nd inning. That was the only damage against Rick Porcello.
Pretty good curveball there by Abad as he buries it down and in to McCann. Big sweeping breaking ball from Abad. In a good spot where it ends up down in the dirt.
2-2 on McCann. Sox have 2 more left with the Tigers here in Detroit, and then it'll be on to play Tampa Bay, and that's a 4-game series. This is an 11-game road trip. The Red Sox come back home against Kansas City on Friday, August 26th. You're looking at what, 35 games left. That's it.
Yeah. You got what, 6-game homestand, and then you go out on that another long West Coast trip.
Yeah, that's a 9-gamer over 10 days. 3-2.
Actually wrapped out of the trip up in Toronto.
That's correct. Big games with the Blue Jays, and the season ends at Fenway Park with 3 games against Toronto. That could be for the whole thing, for the division. Swing and a miss, and down goes McCann. So 1 away here in the 9th inning.
Another breaking ball from Abad. This one a little bit higher, but no contact by McCann, and picks up the strikeout. It's a little bit higher than he'd obviously like it, but still got a good result out of it.
One out for J.D. Martinez, who has belted the 2-run homer, singled and walked. Cabrera is hitless tonight. Ibar hitless tonight. And a fly to right center field. Jackie Bradley waiting. He's got it. 2 down. And Victor Martinez hitless tonight. So Porcello really did great work against a tough part of their order. He also held Kinsler at 0 for 3.
You know, to me, he did it tonight too without one of his weapons, his curveball. He didn't throw very many of them in the game tonight, and the ones he did throw were not that good. So he basically had to rely on other things, his 2-seamer, his cross-seamer, and a couple of cutters, sliders. But the curveball really wasn't a major part of his repertoire tonight.
As you said, the Red Sox got him run support early, 4 quick runs before he even got onto that hill. And they do score for Rick Porcello. It's been some formula. And he's about to be 17-3. That's across for a strike.
That was a backbreaker right there. That's when we see the back flinch. Ball coming right at you, then it breaks over the plate. Watch the back of Collins. Boop.
The 1-1. Fouled out of play. A win here tonight, the Red Sox would be back to 15 games over 500. They shook off that loss yesterday very quickly in the first inning with those 4. Here's the 1-2. Rolled foul. It does not erase the problems of the bullpen. No question about that. But everybody feels a whole lot better. John Farrell saying before the game that Matt Barnes now has the 8th inning. 1-2. Evens up the count here on Collins. And the Red Sox continue to get very, very good, excellent starting pitching. Here's the 2-2 as Abad tries to end it, but can't on that pitch. Bottom of the 9th inning, 10-2 Boston. And Abad with the 3-2, and he drops into breaking ball, and that does it. The Red Sox win it 10-2. Plenty of offense tonight, and more outstanding starting pitching from Rick Porcello, who is now 17-3. And in games that he pitches in, the Red Sox are 19-6. Home runs tonight from Jackie Bradley and David Ortiz, who now has 95 RBIs. And the Red Sox win this one easily by a final of 10-2. And TC, this series is even at